two major penalties that close to each other. You've got guys that are playing too much, and again, I'm not whining about it, but you've got guys that are playing a little too much. Some of the guys not enough, and then the script gets flipped where we end up getting a major, and in a short period of time, we lost a couple of guys in our lineup. So, just happy that the guys did a really good job at managing. I want to give credit to St. Thomas. They made a big time push, had opportunities, and that's just what Rico's doing a really good job there. Their team's buying in, and that was a hard fought win. It's hard to sweep, so I feel fortunate.
Thanks for that, Mike. Questions?
David, Celia, natural hat trick tonight in the first period. You think they're probably tired of seeing him at this point, maybe?
A great weekend for him. I got to tell you, they threw the hats off, and coach was behind a little bit. I didn't know he had three. I should have understood that a little bit. You know what? He's put a lot of work in over the summer. He had an opportunity to go to development camp this year. Had a really good development camp. He's playing in all situations for us, power play, penalty kill, top 6 minutes. And with us having Morton go down as early as he did and Sandlin go down, as early as he did, we needed somebody to step up, and I thought David definitely did that.
Coach, like you said, it was obviously a super weird game, super interesting first period. With everything that went down, what was the message like during that first intermission to help try and keep the composure throughout your team?
You know what? I do a lot of leaning on our leadership group at those times. From our side, it was more trying to, come up with a little bit of a plan on who the two power play units are going to be, who's going to end up killing some penalties for us that maybe hadn't before. But really, when you lose Souter and Sandy at that, Morton and Sandy at that time, that's two guys off your first power play unit. And so really it was more so just X's and O's of getting guys in spots and then leaning on the leadership group to make sure that we were in the right mindset going back out.
So you made the goaltending change after that second goal. Just obviously maybe Tracy was struggling a little bit. Maybe talk us through that decision.
You know what? The first one, I think he gets caught deep. And again, Trace is somebody that's a competitor, right? So he's probably not real happy with his coach at this time because he wants to stay in and continue to battle. I thought at that time there was a little exhale when the second one went in. And you know what? I thought it was time to shake the tree a little bit. And actually, Rance has done a good enough job that I've got a lot of confidence in him too. And so when those two went in, when they did, I just decided to go with Rance here.
You guys scored on those two majors, and you talked about missing the two forwards, but Keto also captains that first unit. It's always big to score, when you get those chances, but to do it with down that many guys in the power play, how big was that? I thought it was huge.
It was, and I'd like to tell you it was drawn up. It wasn't. That was some guys making some plays. I think, we saw this weekend Luke Wilson, Luciano, he's very talented offensively. He had a really good year last year in Penticton throughout the playoffs, and helped them win a championship. And he's made an impact on our power play this last two nights. And then, we had some guys step up and make a couple of plays, and Cillier's one of them. So, I thought the guys stepped in and took advantage of their opportunities.
I kind of just touched on it a little bit briefly here, but this series we got to see a lot of younger guys step up with Luke Wilson and Fitzgerald. So how rewarding is it as a coach being able to see those guys, finally break through and get on the score sheet for the first time?
One of the neat things there is that from a coaching standpoint, you hope that, but actually at the end of the day, it's great to see how the team reacted to their success. In that, because they know those guys have put a lot in. They've been buying their time, waiting for some opportunities, and all the way from last night through tonight, they took advantage of them. And really, as a coach, you're happy for them because you know the work that they've put into it. But even more so, it was great to see how their teammates enjoyed in their success.
Just want to ask you about St. Thomas. Obviously, I thought they played probably 5 pretty good periods of hockey this weekend. Just compared to what they had last year to this year, it seems like it's night and day. I don't know if you could just talk a little bit about
A
how
lot
they
of
progressed.
respect, and you're on the head of the nail. They're, Rico's been successful for a long time. At what he built and helped build at Miami, he's doing the same thing now at St. Thomas. We're fortunate to be able to get 2 wins because you look at it, as you mentioned, through 2 periods last night. It's 2-2. We get a couple of breaks. One goes off, I think, Pav's helmet. We get off to a good third period, and then tonight it was tooth and nail the entire game. So a lot of respect. I think their young guys are talented. The young guys are making an impact there, and it's a great combination with their young guys and guys that came back and understand what Rico wants to get done.
Final question.
Just any update? Sam's been so good for you. Any update on his status? Also, Keto as well.
We won't know until probably Monday. So keep our fingers crossed, and probably fortunate we're going into an off week where the one thing you get, which usually you don't get, is time. We'll get a little bit of time, so we'll learn. We'll probably know a little bit more by Monday night.
Yeah, kind of a weird flow to that game. Go down as the longest game in history. Some of the guys were joking about. So, I was proud of the guys for sticking with it. We had some guys go down too, but a lot of guys stepped up. A lot of young guys. So happy with the way we finished off.
Great. Thanks for that.
We know you've got a hat trick against them last year, but natural hat trick, have you ever done that before? Do you know of?
My dad holds on to one when I was really young, but I don't remember it. So kind of the first one that I remember for sure. So it was special.
Similar question. I mean, hat trick last year, hat trick this year. You think you got St. Thomas's number, or what seems to be the
Yeah, it
deal
just
there?
seems to be one of those teams that the puck bounces right for me. So I'm going to keep rolling with it, not overthink it, and just keep. Yeah.
Obviously, you guys won 7-2 last night. They still play pretty hard. Tonight, you came out. Obviously, you go up 1-0, or they go down 1-0, and then you score 3, and you kind of think, oh, maybe you guys are pulling away, because we've seen you guys do that before against other teams, but they didn't back down. Maybe just talk a little bit about how you guys were able to keep them at bay when it looked like maybe you were going to pull away.
Yeah, we got to give them credit. I think they've taken a lot of steps from last year, and they really hung around. I think they're going to upset a lot of teams just the way they play. They play hard, and I think, as Coach mentioned in his pregame, is who's going to stick to it longer. And I thought our guys did a good job of doing that tonight.
You guys lost 2 top 6 forwards pretty early in this game, in a really chaotic period, like you said. How happy were you with the way the guys kind of handled that adversity?
Yeah, like you said, big players for us up front, and I thought the guys rallied around it. Shortened our shifts, and there's a lot of ice, and it's really unselfish out there. And it's times like those that are unfortunate, but kind of bring us together, and hopefully you can use that moving forward.
From a player's perspective, I know this weekend came with a lot of bumps and bruises. There was a lot of penalties, a lot of big hits that happened. How important is it, from a player's perspective, to have this bye week now and try and refocus and regroup, especially mentally and physically?
Yeah, I think, like you said, both mentally and physically, it's huge. Comes at a right time for us. I think we had that long stretch of starts, and this weekend definitely banged us up. So take advantage of this off week here, and hopefully we get as many guys back as we can.
Just want to go back to that first period after you score. Got the hats come down, sort of. I think maybe you didn't know, or maybe Hasty said he didn't really know what was happening, and then they scored right away. So how do you sort of navigate the chaos of that first period? What do you do in the intermission to sort of get your heads back into the game and make sure that you're not too weirded out by that 55-minute period or however long it was?
Yeah, I think we treated it as a whole new game entirely. I think it was so long that it was like we just went out for warm-ups, coming back to the period, and we got a 2-period game instead of a 3-period game. So that was our mentality going in. Fresh start, 0-0, and just stick with it.